Alright, a little summertime update. It's August 16th. We got the pigeon peas. I keep on using those as chop and drop. They produced a few pigeon peas earlier, but I haven't let them recently. I'll let them now. Looks like they're sturdy enough. This is a lead tree, miracle tree, white lead tree because of the white flowers. Lead because it's very strong wood. I used to use it for building. This is my second round of Jerusalem artichokes. Meanwhile, this is still struggling. The Peruvian ground apple was planted at the same time as the first round of this, and this has already given me a crop. Now it's growing again. Malabar spinach took off like crazy. Banana. More pigeon pea. A whole bunch of sweet potato. Some elder. This is a chico zapote. Some sugar cane. Some people call it Japanese mint. It's also called shisho. This is a type of amaranth. It's delicious. It tastes just like spinach. Highly recommend growing it if anybody is in South Florida or anywhere that's very hot, where spinach does not like to grow. This grows just fine in the heat. The more sun that it gets, the more red the leaves are. They were all very red until I put these papayas here. Now they're getting lighter. This is a ground cherry. It's a husk fruit. It's like a wild tomatillo. It's little tiny tomatillo tasting fruits. Cinnamon basil. Another one of those. See how red it is because it's got no shade. This is a mame sapote. Guava. Steady producing. I just have to spray a lot because it gets, let's see if we can get it on the camera. See that little patch? It's these bugs that lay nests on the underside of the leaves, and then when the fruit's ready, they put their larvae inside the fruit. Harmless, but it's disgusting. So I try to avoid it. This is pineapple guava back here. It's got a lot of circe growing on it. Haven't ever eaten the fruits. I only seen the fruits when they're on the ground, and I've never seen it flower. But this year I'm going to be paying a lot more attention to it. So whenever it does fruit, I'm going to catch it. I'm going to try it. Got some grapevine growing in these ornamental bananas. It's a Concord. These bananas are just ornamental. They'll try to make fruit, but they're itty bitty and they have seeds. Recently planted a red banana. That's it right there. That's also ornamental. It gives these little red bananas. It looks more like ginger. Doesn't look like banana. Got some beans and some different squashes and melons growing in here. I had tried to grow some corn, but it did not do good. I would love to hear some tips on corn because I've tried a few times. I live here in Florida. Maybe there's a trick to growing it here. Some spinach tree. This here is a strangler fig. It's a Florida strangler fig. So it gives these tiny little figs that are actually really tasty, but they're tiny. So they consider them not edible, I think just because of the size of the fruit. They're also highly acidic, so you don't want to eat a lot or it'll jack up your stomach. Some beans growing underneath it, and some Monster, delicious monster, Monstera deliciosa. Yam. See these heart-shaped leaves. This is a yam that I planted right down there. You could barely see the stem; it's bare, but that's it. It's filling up the fence pretty nice. And this is avocado that grew in the compost. Put compost all throughout here, and a few avocados decided to sprout up out of it. It's another type of ground cherry Hawaiian pokeberry right there. Another avocado, bell pepper, still hanging in there. All the other ones produced and then died. This one never produced, but it's not dying, so maybe it's not a bell. Maybe it's something else. Definitely a pepper though. This is a tall ginger. It's a pink shell ginger. Another avocado. Some canna. Growing with some tall variegated ginger. Sweet potato. Another tall shell ginger, pink shell. A lot of squash or melon growing through here. Hopefully it'll produce. Sweet potato, peas, squash or melon, whatever it is. I plant a lot and I don't keep track of what's what all the time, especially when it comes to the fence. I just want stuff to fill it in, look all flush and plush. So a lot of repeating, pink shell ginger, then there's some variegated hiding in there. Pink shell, some canna, lots of sweet potato. I'm gonna be digging this whole section up soon. Like I said, this is middle of August, and once I'm in the middle of September, I'm gonna dig this all up and reset it for all the vegetables everybody's used to. Brassicas, so like broccoli and cabbage and all those kind of things can start growing again once it gets cool. I'll start it before it gets cool. And some carrots. Got a lot of carrots growing in here. Just reset this side. It's got some radishes and turnips just starting out. Down there, there's spaghetti squash. A little seedling of loquat. Once he starts doing good, I'll move him. This is a dwarf Cavendish. Didn't look so dwarf when I was close up on it. Yeah, so that's the backyard. Oh, let me show you the other side. We got some Cardinal official, no, Zabrina official, the regular cooking ginger. And then I have some turmeric, some black turmeric and Hawaiian turmeric right next to each other. Some Caribbean oregano, some variegated Caribbean oregano. Some goosefoot. This is
not at all what I'm about to say. It's actually okra, but I got confused because I do so much planting and I don't keep track of it all.
Pretty cool story, you should look it up. Some blackberries. They're all finished giving me berries pretty much. It's got a lot of new growth on it still though, so that's cool. Bananas. I just pulled out this one. Got a nice big batch. Just finally ripe. Took months. I had a lot of this on the other side. I didn't really mention it, but this is wild cow peas. They give you little black-eyed peas that are black with an eye. So it's probably like the original black-eyed pea. But yeah, they're edible. You don't want to eat them as a green bean, so you don't want to eat them when they're young. But once they're fully mature, you could take the beans out and soak them and cook them just like any other bean. They're pretty good. I think they also have some kind of medicinal value where they make you feel euphoric. This is another banana. This one's almost ready to go too. I have this chair holding the tree up, or else it would have fell over. And I keep on putting stuff to try to hold down the roots. And it's always good to do that with banana trees. You just pile up dirt, compost, chippings, clippings, whatever. Just pile stuff up around them. They like that. Papaya, elder. These green onions that look like leeks. I have to reset them soon. Maybe I'll grill them. Grilled green onions are delicious. If you haven't done it, try it. Some papayas. Some more of that really nice amaranth. This is a different type of amaranth. They both have similar flowers though. They got really cool, they're not really flowers, they're seed pods, but they're very decorative, so they almost look like flowers. They're very cool. And you could use the seeds as a grain, kind of like quinoa, which is related to all of this. And some rosemary. Got sunflower in there. This was like a cultivated cowpea. When they dry, they look a little purplish, more like maroon, but they call them purple cowpeas. But I just killed it. I was pulling weeds, and I pulled out the vine that it's coming from, so it's gonna die out. Anyway, put some fresh dirt down here, and we've got some more Hawaiian polkas right there. This is some yucca. I had some yucca growing over there too, I didn't mention it, but spinach tree, mulberry, more spinach tree, some cranberry hibiscus. So that big one there started from clipping. One next to it was the top of it, so that's a clipping of the clipping. And then the one in front of it was started from seed. It's interesting that the one that started from seed is not splitting the leaves as much as the ones from the clippings. I guess that's an indication of it being mature. So yeah, along with all these elders, I got some zinnia growing down there, and Cape Myrtle. It's a black Cape Myrtle. Forget the exact name for it, but it's a really cool black Cape Myrtle. Really likes the sun and the heat. During the winter, it was just barely staying alive, and then as soon as spring started to get hot, as summer was approaching, it just took off. It had beautiful flowers on it and started getting tall. Now it's got berries. Yep. So I have another one down here though, and you could just see as a comparison, this one here is not in as much sun, and they were the same size when I put them in. This hasn't grown much because of where it's at. And it's doing okay because now it's hot, and apparently likes the heat, but not as big because there's not as much sun. So yeah, that's what's growing on. Now let me take you to the side where there was a lot of tomatoes. Now there's just little seedlings of zinnias. Those flowers grow very easy And they're beautiful. This is lemongrass. There it is. Say hi, lemongrass. So, past the fence of wild cowpeas. We got some green onions. Some Malabar spinach is going to take the place of the tomatoes. It's going to crawl up as I was using as a lattice. And a whole bunch of zinnia seedlings. They're all popping up. There's still a little bit of basil. And I tried reseeding it from the ones that were growing seeds. So there's some little seedlings in there. We'll see how they do. Hopefully with the heat getting less intense, they'll do fine. They won't try to seed so fast. So yeah, and in the front, got some medicinals. This is the leaf of life. This is a cure for all. Malabar, different types of succulents, aloe, cactus, some more Malabar, which is actually a type of succulent too. Yeah, some more monstera, my lions. I recently realized that these plants are the same ones they use for bonsais, so I made a little bonsai. And this is my aquaponics. My fish tank with some of the fish tank water flowing through here. This guy's giving me a fruit. We call them a prickly apple. They're bigger than prickly pears. And I think they're tastier. They're better. All right. That's my little apple orchard over here. It's actually a pride and joy of mine here. So this here is a custard apple. This is a cosmic apple. These are Granny Smith. Some pineapples. See that? I don't know if you can see that Granny Smith there, but that's the big daddy of the bunch. He said, "I'm taking off. I'm gonna be an apple by this time next year. I'm giving you apples. I'm not waiting 5-10 years. No, I'm gonna be like 7 feet tall next year." That's what he said. You know, it's not me speaking. That's the apple. Apple tree. Apple seedling wants to be a tree. All right, so this is sugar apple. So definitely got like a bit of a theme going on. Got the pineapples, coconut, Granny Smith, cosmic apples, sugar apple, and then custard apple. So yeah, apple orchard. Got some zinnias. Lots and lots of zinnias. There was lots of sunflowers in here too, but they're all done. Corn is all done. So that's it.